Today we have the chance to talk to Benedetta Nicolis di Robilant, PhD student at San Raffaele Scientific Institute and member of the committee for the National PhD meeting organized by the Association of Cell Biology Differentiation and the Italian Society of Biophysics and Molecular Biology. So, good morning, Benedetta.
Good morning.
How did you become part of the PhD student committee for the National PhD meeting?
So I was invited to take part at the Young Committee at the joint National PhD meeting here in Pesaro by a former professor of mine at the San Raffaele University, where I'm actually doing my PhD. He's Ruggero Pardi, that is the president of the ABCD Society, and he introduced me to this meeting. So I would like also to take this opportunity to thank him for this opportunity and the senior committee that gave us a complete freedom in our choices, in particular Professor Giulia Piaggio. And I would also like to thank the organization for the constant help, in particular Elena Papinotto.
But this kind of activity is apparently far from the classical idea of the scientist working on the bench. So, which is the contributor that a researcher can give in this context?
Okay, I think that you used the term apparently very correctly because this context is done by scientists and for scientists. So the contribution of researchers is absolutely pivotal, and is actually in this context where the scientist has the possibility to actually encounter with other scientists in a way that is different from what they normally do. So the scientific work is not confined exclusively at the bench, but it's little by little it's going to be substituted by this context that is meetings, grant submissions, connections, networking with our labs, and most importantly, I would say vision. I think that vision is the thing that we as a PhD student have to learn, being able to understand where our research is going, being able to put all the little findings together in order to do a bigger picture and to understand better where our research is actually going. So I think that this is the thing we have to take from this meeting.
You just mentioned the importance of networking, and you have worked together with other 5 PhD students from a different university to organize these meetings. So positive and negative aspects of teamwork.
Yeah, so I've been working with other 5 PhD students from different universities throughout Italy, and it has been a fantastic teamwork. And I think that one of the most beautiful thing of this is that coming from different backgrounds, we have every single person gave something different from each other, both in terms of environment and in terms of scientific field. So every single abstract have been reviewed by 6 completely different persons. And so we put together and we decided the keynote speakers. We choose the oral presentation within all the abstract, and we had to chair and decide all the sessions. And this has been very, very interesting, and it has been very nice to work together with my colleagues.
So talking about a little bit more about the meeting itself, which were your expectations before, and are you satisfied with the results?
So it's the first time that I'm attending this meeting, and I have to be honest that the expectations were exceeded, because I think that the plus of this meeting is to have all PhD students. So this takes, I think, 2 fantastic things to the meeting. The first one is that we're all PhD students, so we share the same experience. We can talk to each other about our future, what are the plans next, and we face the same problem. The second part is that it is not a theme meeting, but every single PhD student is studying very different things. So we're exposed to very different scientific fields. We're ranging from cell cycle regulation to targeted therapy in cancer, to signal transduction and trafficking membrane. So it was very, very interesting to be here.
So to conclude, which way do you think attending events like this could help a young researcher?
So I think that science, as it's becoming, is not only wet work, but it's absolutely necessary to have moments in which knowledge is shared. And this is absolutely fundamental. So we as PhD students have to come here and it's one of the first moments in which we actually can present our work to the scientific world, from where we can take good advices, questions. I don't know, something is missing and our research has some holes and something that have to be done more properly, and it's actually in this context in which I can have this feeling to see where people is understanding what I'm doing, if I'm doing it correctly. And actually to this regard, it is very important, as Professor Michael John told us, that we have to become good speakers. We have to be able to give good talk in order that our audience is able to understand what we are doing, what we want to do, what we want to tell. In this way, the audience can understand and is learning something new, and I, as a speaker, can have their suggestions. So I will get something from this meeting. So I really think that in this way, it becomes a win-win situation. So that we really have to be committed in this meeting, come here and really put all of ourselves in the meeting and try to get the best from here.
So thank you very much for talking to us today, Benedetta, and we really appreciate that.
Thanks to you. Thanks.